Okay, so I actually don't know what rank this guy is, because I really don't know what rank this person is because he has one of these question marks by his name. And that makes me a little bit nervous, because I have no idea how good he actually is. Um, I guess he's pretty good. I don't know. I'm just going to do this random pincer move, but either ways, it's a little bit interesting. The right move is actually to knight's move down here, so it forces me, but I'm just going to jump here. Okay, that's fine. I'm pretty sure you just connect this way because then he doesn't get the Hane is, then you can actually Hane later. So I think this is fine. Or the Atari is later. I mean, it might have been better to connect here, but I don't know. Um, I don't really get to play this particular variation all that much. It might have been. I don't know whether the best move is. You know what? You know what? The best move is most likely to. The best move, honestly, is most likely to do this Tiger's Mouth thing. I'm gonna Atari first. And then, of course, I'm gonna take first. Yeah, that doesn't really like do much. I'm just gonna ignore that. He's using too many stones to cover this one stone. And I can always do this and grab back, so I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna go here. I don't think I actually gained too much from this. Really don't think I gained too much from that. I mean, I could always do this and then like Tiger's Mouth out here, but I'm not really sure if that's a good way to do things or not. I might have like seriously screwed up this play. Might have just seriously screwed up this play. Not really sure. That's not a good play. Definitely not a good play. That's not worth it. That's that point's not worth it at all. I probably should have just done that, but I actually do want to fight a little bit. Definitely want to fight a little bit. Let me actually look at this. I think I'm just going to keep doing this. I think I can kill him like this. Might be wrong, but I think I can kill him like this. Okay, can he kill me in any way? I don't think so. This is just a really bad miscalculation by him. Otherwise, I think he would have been okay. This doesn't do anything, because if I just connect, he's kind of screwed. So he's missing one liberty right here, so this squeeze doesn't actually work. I'm just going to make sure he's dead. Realistically, I probably should have Atari'd up here, but I don't think it matters right now. I'm going to do this way because I eventually want to attack this particular stone. That's perfectly fine because I'm okay with a corner as well. There's very little territory up there. I am going to separate these two. Forcing me out one of these two ways is not a good idea. You're hurting. You're going to. That's useless. Because I don't even have to answer that. I can just kind of like Atari this way. All I have to do is like, remember, there's only 2 liberties here, so it doesn't really matter what I do. I made a mistake there. I should have just done the other thing. See, that's just a mistake. Why the heck would you do that? I mean, that's the more obvious answer, or even this. I don't quite understand this move. I mean, I guess I kind of understand what he's trying to do, but so I'll just extend downward. That doesn't make any sense because I have 3. Like, you need to just connect this and take this stone because this doesn't make any sense. Because I can just ignore you right now and do this, and he actually might be dead here if I just do this. Although this is Sente, so he's not actually dead, I guess. I think it actually might. Well, I'm gonna do this to see what he does. I think it's better for me to cover overall, though. Yeah. So this is all Sente for him, but he doesn't have another eye in there. It's really, really important to keep track of these liberties, guys. It really is. Because this doesn't do you any good. Like, it's super, super important to keep track of the liberties. He didn't need to do that right now. But now he's just dead. So he lost all of this as well. You don't need to fix this right away. Eventually, yes, you will need to fix this, but you didn't need to do it right away. Guys, please hit the likes. That would help me a lot. I might, if this game ends really quickly, I might play another game after this, or if someone wants to challenge me, that's fine as well. But I will actually review this game. That's fine. It's perfectly fine. You have problems here with like this now since you lost that group. Yeah, I'm not going to answer that. I'm just going to come up here. Do the overhead, that's fine. See how you answer this. This is one of those like make use of type of move thingies. All right, we got a fight. Yeah, you gotta like answer the question of like, what am I going to do if he does this? He doesn't have like too many options to get out of this, honestly. He really doesn't. It's fine. That is also fine. I can just keep going this way. He can't really do all that much. He can't actually cut here, and this doesn't matter because I can just take this. Since he can't cut here, he can't really do anything. He can try that, but that's really not going to matter because I can just come out here, and then I can always just connect this. By the ways, I can always kind of just connect that. I am going to push out first, though. He has to block this one. He doesn't have a choice on this. He has to block. I'm going to connect. He's going to do that. I'm going to connect. He's going to do that, and then that doesn't make any sense because I'm going to take these stones now. This was the more important connection. This one's more important because this is alive. This is essentially alive anyways. So this one's a lot more important. So now you just like lose the entire side there. I'm going to Atari here.
You have won.
So I'm going to review this game, and then I'm probably going to play another one. Hit the likes, please. That would help me a lot on this channel. So I don't exactly know how to play this corner right. Not on this variation. That's fine. That's fine. So yeah, like I said, like I keep missing this. This is like, if you run into this type of situation, the tiger's mouth is the best way to go. I keep forgetting that because I don't play it very often. This is a lose. This is going to lose me some points. This is also going to lose me a couple points. So I should have just gone with the tiger's mouth. This actually loses quite a lot of points for me doing this. He does that. I'm going to Hane here. He does that. I'm going to take. Actually, when he does that, I should probably just like come up. When he blocks, I should probably just come up. That's probably the best move. I actually lost a little bit on this corner because of this bad thing. I should have definitely like tiger's mouth here. So just remember that next time. He does this, I do this, he does this. I shouldn't have taken it. I should have just gone up. I just got trapped because like this doesn't really threaten him anything. This really doesn't threaten him, and this gives this move, which is like way too much. So I should have just come up here because that separates out the two groups. Yes, he can do this, but then I have the ko here. So not definitely like a misplay. Definitely a misplay by me. So I do this, he does this, you know, regular Joseki, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to do that. This, I feel like you would do this. Because in this situation, I'm really not going to try to... I mean, like, this makes, like, this group a little weaker, so I'm not going to try to take your corner for the most. Like, if I'm white, I'm not really going to try to take your corner. This is an optional way to... This is actually an optional way to kind of, like, do this. But at this point, I'm just really not going to play like that. I don't like the shape of this over here if I do. So going over here, I do think, like, this is the better move. Whether I do this or whether I do this... you know, you got a pretty good block over here. And then I probably just wouldn't answer at this point and go somewhere else. And that's perfectly fine. I think, like, doing this is okay as well. You know, the thing is, I don't like him, like, cutting up here. Because I feel like I'm giving up a little too much if he does this. It's not, like, too bad, but I feel like I'm giving up a little too much. It's fine for the most part. So I actually... But, like, AI-wise... it's best to go here. So I connected the top, I did lose a couple points by connecting the top. This is him actually, this is definitely him, like, oh, I should have, like, I guess I should have extended. When I do this, you should definitely take. You should definitely take it, because then I have to do this and you don't have to respond. So you get Sente there. And if I don't do that and just go over here, then this is like much more problematic for me. So when I do this, him extending here actually loses a lot of points because that gives me the free block. The free block is worth a lot of points. So yeah, in this situation, you definitely want to take. A lot of lower ranked players don't want to take because they're afraid of this. But think about this. When he Ataris here, you don't have to answer. You just go somewhere else. So essentially, you give me a free blocking move, and that takes away, like, a lot of the points. And then obviously, like, you capture, and that gives me another free move. So I'm going to move out here. This is fine. You could also do this. White gets Sente. I move out here. This is kind of a weird thing. So I could have actually done this, and but I think, like, the ladder doesn't work for me right here. So I'm going to just extend out. I'm just going to extend out. And this is definitely not something like... I feel like the better move here is just to either jump for black or to approach for black. Because if you do this, I'm just going to, like, attach out. That's obviously going to be a mistake. You can't connect here. You have to, like, you probably have to just connect this one. And then I'm going to take this. So obviously, like, it's not a good trade for him. So, like, you can't, Hane, you have to do this. And this is not necessarily great for me, because I still have to do something like this, for the most part. And then, like, this is just kind of like a fighting situation over here. I like my thing better, because your thickness doesn't matter. I already have stones down here, you can't really kill this group, and my thickness does matter a little bit more. So, essentially, doing that's wrong. I'm going to Atari this first. You connecting is definitely wrong because this is just a miscalculation. I calculated this out. I have more liberties than he does. And of course I do this, which is disastrous for him. This is even worse. At this point, if you're playing this and you want to play this game, like, you just go ahead and do this. Or you do this. You just leave this alone. This is essentially a lost cause. By doing this, you're basically just extending your pain, because now you've not only given me this group, you've also given me this group. Like, this is one of those things where it's just like, just let it go and play something else. If you play here, you're probably just going to make it worse, because you've already lost this group and this area. If you just extend my territory, you're going to give me more points. So he does this, I extend down. Now those three are mine. He does this, which doesn't make any sense. I should have just played elsewhere at this time, because I don't think he could actually live here, and it doesn't threaten me. So I just wanted to make sure that I captured it. But realistically, this is worth a lot more points if I just play it here. Or probably here, actually. Yeah, this side's better. I just played there. So I do this. He does this. I am okay with this, because if he just plays the regular Joseki, I basically get to attack this stone. So I'm perfectly fine with that. He does this. I'm going to jump down in the corner. Really, yeah, jumping down in the corner is fine. Getting that territory. He's going to do this. I'm going to do this. Like, this is actually okay, because these two are hard to attack, but letting your opponent separate out your two groups is not very good. This is a bad move. So you need to do this. You need to try to jump out while not forcing me here. Because if you force me either way, whether you do this or you do this, if you use these forcing moves, you're basically borrowing from like Peter to try to help Paul. And what I mean by that is like you're trying to make one side stronger by making the other group weaker. So you need to actually like try to run out without actually like doing that. So that would actually be the move. Remember, black, once he does this move, he actually has this move later on. And I have to block this way. So it's actually quite hard to kill black here. So yes, over here, this would be the move to go. This is generally a bad move. And then forcing me out both ways, you just make both sides weaker. Definitely not a great idea. Curl here. So I'm going to do this first because if I do this, I don't actually like this move. I obviously can't take because that would be disastrous. I would have to fight that Ko, and there's no way in heck I'm going to fight that Ko generally. So essentially, I'm going to do this first and just make sure. Now if you extend, I'm going to do this because that's actually available. Like I said, if you do this, and this is like a double Atari, so if I extend here, then you would take this stone, and that's really bad for me. So that's why I did not cover first, and that's why I went out here first. He does that, which doesn't really make too much sense. I block. I'm going to clamp here, which is probably a bad move. I probably should have just blocked. Or just like, once he did this, I should have just went somewhere else or something like that. It doesn't really matter. I clamped here to get rid of the eye, but like this leaves this open, which isn't a very good idea. He does this. I go back. He does that. This is a really bad move. I don't really know why you would do this move, because the move here would either be here and threaten this connect. I would probably have to do this. And now if you do this, you actually have eye shape. Or if you really want this, you can actually do this. And if I go here, you can just come out here. Right? So I really don't understand this move because it doesn't get you any eyes. Of course, I'm going to immediately do that. Honestly, like what I should have done is I should have just like clamped out here. I should have basically let you live on Gote and then just move out here, because technically I don't think I should be able to kill this group, because if you escape out here, it's actually if you jump here, it's actually quite hard for me to surround you and kill. Because you have a bunch of usages around here where it's like Sente for you. So yeah, not a great thing for me. So I'm just going to do this to test how he actually moves. He does that. I'm going to go down here. He does that. I'm going to go down here. So the thing is, he doesn't have two eyes either way. If he actually connects here, I can actually play this move, and I can actually play this move. And this, like, I can just kind of try to surround him. I can really just kind of try to surround him if he actually does something like that. I don't know if it would actually work or not, but I can definitely just try to surround him at this point. But him doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and do that just to kill any eyes that he hopes there. This is bad because if you actually do this, then this group is completely dead. Because now, like, if you go here, I can just cut you, right? Think about it. If this was here, if this was actually here, and you go here, I can't cut you. Like, this would actually be Sente. I can't actually cut you, right? But since you actually forced me to take all those stones, I'm a lot stronger, so you can't actually escape this group now. So that's why, like, finishing this out actually is really bad. That guarantees that this group is actually dead. So think about that. Like, before you use all your forcing moves, think about what you're actually doing, and think about like the Aji you're giving up in the future. So you definitely have to keep that in mind. That I don't think you have to do right now. If you do this, I don't think this works right now. I mean, even if you do this, I mean, I'm still a couple, like, regardless, I'm still a couple liberties behind. You don't have to do that right now. I mean, eventually you might have to do this. Eventually you might actually have to do this, but right now that's a waste. That's really just wasting a move. So I'm going to I didn't have to do this since this is captured, but I did anyways just to make sure. Here I should have just probably played here, or possibly played here. But I just made sure. I don't have to do that. There's no way he can actually escape at this point. So I'm going to do that. He does that. and then I'm going to invade here because this is actually really weak because of like what he did over here, and because I can just like tuck under right there. So he does that. I'm going to jump. He does that. I'm going to do that just to see it, to test a response. He connects. I do this. So there's always like, you can always just do this, honestly. I can just go back and then you can connect this. So that's kind of like how you can actually play it. Before you get into a fight with me, you have to like, you have to think about, can I actually win? Like, because if you opt for this, you know, like this isn't Sente, so you know I'm going to do this. So before you opt for that combination, you have to think about, can these 3 stones kill these 6 stones up here? The answer is no. So you wouldn't actually do that. So before you cut me, make sure that like you can actually beat me in this fight here. And this is pretty obvious. The answer pretty obviously to this one is actually no. I'm on the outside. I have more liberties, and there's really not much you can do. So this is not going to work either. This really isn't really going to work either. And then he does this, and I'm going to basically come out. Now here, this connection is going to be a lot bigger than this connection because A, it is more stones. And B, these two might connect to this group here, but here's the thing. This group is pretty much already alive. It has 1 eye and 2 eyes there. So you're not going to get much out of this group. However, these stones connect both this group and this group. And really, this group is like the only hope you have. And plus, these are actually on the outside. It's just much, much bigger. So like these two stones aren't really important. These stones are a lot more important. So I do this, and that's when the game is over. So a lot of big fighting mistakes, clearing up all the Aji out here, a lot of like mistakes played here. And of course, like miscalculations and readings here. Like DDKs and lower SDKs really do need to work on their reading and like the hypothetical scenarios that can actually play out. Because otherwise, like when you play a stronger player, you're just going to lose because I can read situations a lot better than you can. And it's just more of like pattern recognition. A lot of it is pattern recognition and like kind of like intuitive shape recognition. Like this type of shape right here, I knew that if he connected, I could probably kill him. And it's just like practice reading those things. So yeah, that's going to be the review of this game. If one of you guys wants to challenge me, just issue a challenge right now. I will play another game and review another game. I have time to do that. So if anyone wants to play me, just give me a challenge. Just make it non-ranked and like give some adequate amount of time to actually play. This particular game was kind of short, and the thing was kind of short, and the review was kind of short as well. So I am actually going to wait for some
Challenge received.
So okay, I got a challenge. Wait, what happened? Challenge again. Challenge again. Turn off analysis. I don't like analysis in live games. So the challenge did not actually come through for some reason. So if you want to play, please send a challenge. If you want to play, please send a challenge. The first game was not really
Challenge
long.
received.
Okay.
Game started.
6K is perfectly fine. I don't mind it. I'd rather have the clock be a little bit faster. I definitely rather have the clock be a little bit faster. I think like I'm more for the games that are like under an hour for the most part. Like in tournament, I'll play games that are more than an hour, but generally like for these streams, I do like games that are a little bit under an hour. So this is it's 6Q, so I can't play quite as haphazardly. You know what? I think I'm just gonna kick this time. I haven't actually done this in a while, but I am just gonna kick this time. This kick obviously isn't. There's not as much territory as the one kick up, but what this kick does is actually ensure like there's actually no invasion in here because it's one space lower. You know, like one of my great weaknesses is like I try to do like even I'm too prone to do like random invasions even in even games. I'm way too prone to do like random invasions even in even games, unfortunately. I'm just gonna do this here. No, I'm gonna keep extending. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep extending, I think. I'm okay with this extension. Interesting. Okay, I probably should have just played over here. Um, but that's fine. Personally, I like fighting games a little bit more, but playing one of these is actually okay every once in a while. Yeah, when you have like something like this, the 3-3 approach is by far the best. You don't really need to approach any of the corners here. I think I'm playing this wrong though, but we'll see. I feel like I'm just playing this wrong. Game is definitely not going according to expectations, but I think I'm just playing this wrong a little bit. Um, let me see what this does. If he goes under, I'll take. If he does the other thing, I'll go over and try to get the Moyo. I don't know if this is actually that great of a move, though. It's perfectly fine. See what he does with this. Pretty sure that's the wrong move. I don't think he can let me have Sente on this move. Especially in a situation like this. No point. I'm just going to Hane this. See, I'm going to take this so he can't Hane on top. The two-side thing here is Sente live. It's perfectly fine. Going to do... I can't do that, can I? So I'll do this. There's still problems down here. I can still block him here. It's just not worth it right now. It might be, I guess. But not really. I think I'm going to do that, actually. I think I will actually do that. I don't know if that's good or not. I know this shape is alive, but I'm not exactly sure the exact Joseki on it. Might cause me problems later. The crappiness of not knowing Josekis. Definitely problematic for me in a lot of aspects. Definitely extremely problematic for me. I think Black was pretty much ahead in the early game. I don't know about now, but I think Black was fairly decently ahead in the early game, honestly. No, that's not good for him. think I'm just going to do that. He should have probably played the Sente on this corner. Pretty sure he should have just given up this one stone instead of do this, because like you've already given up a lot of points on this corner, and this may or may not work out for you. I don't actually know how the Joseki in the corner works. I know it's alive, but I haven't really investigated it that much. Really haven't investigated it that much. That's a mistake. You should definitely just cut out here first. That guarantees I'm alive. First of all, that's fine. That guarantees actually I'm alive. First of all, um, and that's not like a good thing for him. If he just did this out here and I had to connect, I would have to make sure this was alive afterwards. I'm obviously not going to run this because I don't know if this works or not for me. And even if it does, I'm not really sure if it's such a good idea to run this. It's kind of a weird move. I have to admit, that is kind of a strange move. Probably should have just done this. Definitely should have just done that. Yeah, that's a bad move. Most definitely a bad move. This is why this is a bad move. Oh yeah, I screwed that up. Most definitely a bad move. I should have just done that. I do destroy his Moyo some, but it's just not good for my own Moyo. So yeah, it's no good. It's a really bad move by me. Whoops. Whoopsies. Whoopsies. That is not a good move by him. I kind of want to fight this. I think I will. Yeah, I don't think that's a good move. I'm going to come out this way. It's kind of a mess here. It's definitely kind of a messy game here. Yeah, this is like super messy. No, I really don't like it. This is like super, super messy because I messed up. Definitely messed up. Definitely screwed this up. Yeah, it's not good. Not good. Too many mistakes. Way too many mistakes by me. On the other hand, this ladder doesn't really work anymore. Not that that really matters right now. Yeah, that's a tough one for me. Not really sure what to do here because I can't do that. I cannot do that. Huh. Yeah, I definitely messed up a little bit here. Messed up a lot, actually. Should have definitely done the other move. A couple of beginning moves I messed up as well. Wait. Oh, yeah, I definitely messed this up. Okay, yeah. I'm actually glad he did that because I need to do this. Really need to do that. My groups are a little too scattered here. Let's just do this. My groups are way too scattered here. Crap. Groups are way too scattered here. It's fine. I think I just like screwed this up royally. Oh man. What a screw up by me. Oh man, it's just not good. Definitely screwed that up a lot. I think I lost, but dang, screwed that up a whole lot. Maybe I could cut off this down here though. It'd still be a loss, but still definitely would be a loss. Oh, that's his mistake. If he didn't do that, he would have been able to kill this. You forget, you're one liberty behind. He should have just gone out here before he did that, because this was pretty much dead. I did not calculate that out right. I mean, I could actually get this down here, actually, is the thing. But
You have won.
All right, so one big mistake. I definitely screwed that up. I was playing a little too carelessly. So, like, technically, like here, white's still ahead. But, like, I guess even if I let him take it, he is still ahead. You have to do this, basically, by itself, because there's really not much I can do here. I have to connect this. And then you can probably do this and extend out. And what I would actually do is I would come down here. And essentially, like, the trade would be, the trade would actually be like, you could try to do this, but then this would be Gote, and then I would be able to connect this, and you would be in trouble. So, like, that would kind of be like how that turns out. So, like, yes, I would be in a lot of trouble. I would actually be in a lot of trouble, but you can't, this liberty, like this liberty, you can't close off this liberty. You have to do this first. You absolutely have to do this first. Because if you close off this liberty, now if you do this, it's Atari. So that one liberty matters a lot. If you do just this, it's not really Atari. You do this, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's like that. Basically, my group here is alive, but I don't capture these stones, and you're essentially out free. You're more or less out free. So, or I mean, like, or like you can do the variation that, yeah, or like, you know, there's always going to be stuff down here since your liberties are really, really, really tight. So, but if you essentially close this off, if you essentially like take away your own liberty, you're not going to win, because even if you did do this and I do this, like I still have a lot more liberties than you do. I still have one more liberty than you do. You have to count your liberties. You have to count your liberties very, very carefully. So that's actually like that's actually that big mistake. That's actually that huge mistake here. I mean, even if this didn't play out, even this, like if he had actually played this right, the game would actually be pretty even. The game would actually be pretty even had he actually just done this. I mean, he should have done this. I think like I'm not really sure what I should have done. I mean, like I was gonna connect, but this, yeah. He probably would have been ahead at that as well. I probably would have tried to like get this down here otherwise, but this liberty is very, very critical, and you can't actually close it. So that's like a big, big fighting mistake. Let's actually go back into this game. There were some early game mistakes made by both me and him. So that's just a regular kick. That's perfectly fine. I do this, extend out. The regular thing I would do is actually do this and then just ignore. That might have actually been better, honestly. I probably should have just kept doing that. But whatever. Double Hane. Do that. Do that. Invasion. I guess it does tell me to do that, and I think that's fine as well. I go under. He does that. There's not much territory here. I feel like this would do just as well, and it's a lot less risky. I'm going to go up top. That's actually not good. You could actually do this, and essentially, yeah, like I would live here, but you would get this block. So remember, like this move is actually pretty big because it is Sente for you. You can't kill me, but it is Sente for you, so it is actually fairly big. Here, I'm going to go on top. I went there just to see how he responds. Like, I usually would probably just do this, honestly. I want to see how he responds, because if you play wrong, you could actually get a gote. You could actually end up in gote, which is what happened. Here would actually be a much harder response for me. I think this is a better move. Basically, this is actually a really bad move because it gives me the gote, and I can always block down here like I did later. So I'm gonna Hane up. This destroys that shape. Do this, take this, and then I'm just gonna capture. That's fine. This is still a better move because you can see like you get more points this way. You get a lot more points this way than I do. Whereas if you do this, yeah, it is Sente for you, but I extend a couple more points. So that's why the jump is actually better than the. That's why the jump is better than this. That's fine. I'm gonna Hane first, connect, and then I'm gonna do this. This is actually not that big right now. I probably should have like either jumped up here, or jumped up here, or maybe just like went here or something. I think that's okay because I could just do kind of like this way. There's not too much territory over here, so that's fine. I'm going to do this. You spawn like that, and then I'm going to go over here. That's a really bad move. You would essentially just... The thing is, you would sacrifice this. This is gote for me, so you could actually just do something like this, and your shape would look perfectly fine if you actually did that. This is no damage to you, so this is actually not such a big deal. Doing this and having me take, yes, it gets rid of some of your territory that you built, but I mean, this is also pretty big. So at this, I would probably do something like this, or possibly something like this. So that's the way you should actually play that. Doing this is very, very bad. I'm going to take, you're going to do this. I probably should have responded here on this. That's actually pretty big. And then like you take, I could just play the, you take back. I could play this way. You would do this, and then I would do this. But you actually do have Ko's on the corner. Don't forget, you actually have Ko's on that corner. I can't let you actually have that corner. You have a lot of Ko's there, which is why this Ko isn't necessarily good for me. I just get 2 free moves essentially, but this is kind of damaging to me, so it wasn't that bad. Anyways, you do this. I'm going to take this because that kind of like destroys your corner territory as well, I guess. You're going to do that. In this situation, you would definitely just do this because I'm going to have to do this anyways, and then it's basically Sente for you because I actually have to fix problems in here, or like I just have to do something like this. So you like giving me the stone is not very good because this means like the corner is actually clear because there's really no way I'm going to do this. That's like way too big and damaging. So there's absolutely no way I'm going to do that. So if you just do this, you don't give me the stone in here. And this is a lot more murky basically. So cut on the wrong spot. And then that's a bad move. This, I didn't want to do this move. But like something like I think this or something even like this would have been fine because then I could actually, I mean this move, I don't really want to get this out. This, maybe even this, because this isn't as big of a deal. Maybe like this and just play like this is okay, I guess. But then that's just like trading this territory for this territory. So I think like here, that actually might have been the best move. Not exactly sure what the best move is there. I did this. That's not a very good move. There's just too many errors in here. I think I might have just been better off doing this and then maybe doing this or something. I don't know. Maybe like this. That might have actually been better, but that actually destroys a lot of the Moyo. Either way, this is not a good sequence for me. I think here, like if you want to cut, you would just cut. I think if you want to cut, you would just cut. I don't think this is not a good move because you know what I should have done? I should have just connected is what I should have done. I really should have just connected. Allows me to extend here. Yeah, I really should have just connected. This is the best move because I'm connected now. You're kind of out here, so I should have just connected. I extend out. He does this. I'm going to do that. He does this. I'm going to just try to mirror him. This is actually a really bad sequence for me, by the ways. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if this actually works for me because if I do this and then do this, I don't think this works for me, actually. Atari? Yeah, this doesn't actually work for me. I don't have enough liberties here, so I feel like you should just cut here. I was actually looking at that. I'm like, what would I do if he actually cut? I'm like, and then the answer is not a whole lot, actually. Not a whole lot. Because regardless of the way I play this, if I cut, I just don't have enough liberties. And you would actually get this in here. Now, what I would do is I would actually get the wraparound out here and try to make this territory. Because at this point, like, if you do this, like, I could just do, I'm just going to sacrifice this. I'm just going to sacrifice this more or less. And then now I have this over here. Now I have this over here. I'm going to do like forcing moves like this and try to make like this territory here. Of course, there's always this, and that's always going to be a lot of trouble here. Then, you know, like you have moves like that. That would be pretty troublesome for black as well. So that's kind of how I would play it as white. I would wrap this, and then I would try to make this territory in here. And that's how I would actually work it as white. But he didn't cut, so I actually went ahead and did that. He does that. I do this. I'm going to extend downward. That's actually a bad play. I think this might have actually been better. Because remember, I can just do this, and then do that. But this kind of group would actually be kind of at threat then. So I think I probably should have done that. This is actually just getting progressively worse for me when I do this. Jump, I do this, and then we just get to like the mistake here. And that was like the big mistake. It was a mistake for me to actually connect as well. Because I think the Go program was just trying to get me to do this. And sacrifice in there. I don't like that, obviously. I really don't like that. So here, what I can also kind of do, here I can also kind of do this. So like I would actually do something like this. Like you can't do this sequence. No, you can't actually do this sequence. I can't do anything if you do this actually. Because, yeah. But either way, like, doing something like this, maybe if I did this, I'm not exactly sure how that works out. Because if you did this, then you would actually have a lot of problems. Yes, you could kill me, but I would have this move. Atari, take, you have to be alive. This is actually a lot of points that you actually sacrificed. And I do have a couple of liberties here, so I would probably try to engage in something. Ultimately, you would be able to capture this, but I would try to engage in something like that. There's a lot of variations here. There's actually a lot of variations here. I was thinking about doing something like this as well. And maybe doing something like this and see how you would actually react. Because at this point you would have to, I'm not exactly sure what you would do in this regard, because you do have to protect against this, and then if I do this, I don't know who has actually more liberties. I think you might though. No, I'm ahead by one if you do that. So I would do this. This is kind of difficult. Yeah, this doesn't work for black. Yeah, I think I'm ahead by one if I do that. So yeah. So I guess like you could do this and sacrifice this down here. You get this up here. Maybe that's how it works out. I'm not exactly 100% sure. So there's a lot of fighting variations in here, but ultimately what lost the game was actually this move right here. So that's the review for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. And I will see you guys on the next lesson. I'll see you guys later.